Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to build a bed for my minivan camper, and for this project I have 3 goals in mind. First, I want it to be dirt cheap. Second, I want it to be easy. And then third, I want to solve the biggest problem that I have with my minivan camper. I want my bed to be able to hang over this empty space right here while remaining level across the entire bottom of the floor. The 4 legs are adjustable, and so I can individually adjust every leg to contour my van. If I wanted to keep my 3rd row seat back here, I could have probably just went with 4 equal legs, and that will be close enough for comfort for sleeping in a minivan camper. But with these 4 adjustable legs, I will be able to make my bed as level as I want. So the other reason I wanted these legs is to maximize storage. That was rule number 3 that I had when I set out on this project. So what I want to do is be able to put my legs here closer to the inside of the van so that I have all of this space right here for storage without the legs blocking everything. And so while doing that, I do understand that my bed can be a little unstable, especially as I get to the back end of the van, but I've done quite a bit of testing with just some boards on my platform that I'll talk about later, where I sit up, sit down, and the only thing I won't be able to do would be put my hand on the bed while it rests back here. Otherwise, if you're tackling a project like this and you're not comfortable with that cantilever design, it's going to be too easy to just move these legs further back and make it even more stable. The next important factor, and possibly the most important factor, is the material for the bed frame. I started this project with a goal of 30 inches, which is essentially the same width as all of my favorite mattresses that I've tried over the years. But as I was walking through Lowe's, trying to find the perfect material, I came across this slab right here. So this one right here is actually the same exact size as the bed that I had in there previously. So I wanted to go with a 30-inch wide frame, but this slab right here is just the absolute perfect size. It'll be the minimal amount of work. And I feel like between the slab and the legs, you're looking at maybe about 80 bucks total for a bed frame, and you really can't beat that. On the one hand, it's gonna be a little bit narrow, but I have some ideas for how I can make it feel a little wider, so it can work if I want it to for that wider bed frame. But it's also the perfect thickness that's not going to need too much support to stay stable. In fact, this plank right here is designed for benches, small tables, things like that. And so for $40, I could not beat or pass up this plank. So based on that, my mattress is going to hang over about 3 inches on each side. In addition to that, 6 feet is 72 inches. My mattress is 75 inches. So that'll also give me a little bit of play on all of the ends. For me, what that means is I'm not going to be stubbing my shin on my bed frame when I get in and out of bed. And I also feel like my mattress is going to be stable enough and solid enough that that 3 inches of overhang won't be a problem for long-term stability. Now, before I start screwing anything into place, getting everything locked in, I do want to do a quick mock-up just to make sure that I have everything in the right place. So for me, that's a little more important than measuring, because I do have my rails here on the driver's side of the bed. Those block some of the positions that I might want to use those legs. And so I have to keep that in mind. I want to make sure this thing is as level and as perfect as possible. And then I'm only going to screw in the things once. So I feel like this looks just about perfect. And in fact, my legs, when I did my testing, I wanted to keep my legs at least less than 22 inches from the edge. My legs are currently about 18 inches from the edge, so that gives me even more stability with my cantilever area. But one problem that I see is the longest part of this leg is extended to its maximum, and the shortest part of the front legs is closed to its shortest distance. And so that doesn't really give me any ability to adjust to level the platform within the current setup. Unfortunately, I still have this board from the last time I tried to do a bed build, so I'm going to rip a 2-foot section of this off so that I can add a little bit more height to the back of the bed, and that'll give me the ability to flex at least about 2 inches to perfectly level the bed. And you might be able to just barely make it out in the frame right here, but this one is a little low, so my only option right now would be to raise this one, but I have no other ability without that shim to level the rest of the bed. This thing's not super heavy. I'm not exactly sure how much it weighs, but it's definitely not something that's gonna put you over your weight capacity for your minivan. Now, I don't need these legs to be perfectly in the corner right here. It's okay to have a little bit of overlap because I wanna have the ability to just move around as needed. So I'm gonna err on the side of comfort, and I'm gonna cut an extra inch off. This will be a little shorter than I need it to be, but that'll prevent this from hanging over and bumping into things. So let's do it. I never claimed to really be a carpenter, so I'm just gonna leave that there. If I keep cutting it, this thing's just gonna get shorter and shorter. So these are either gonna be the perfect width or just a little too small, and oh, awesome, perfect. Luckily I had these old screws laying around. So I broke my one tool rule, but I still feel like even without those extra tools, this job is more than easy enough to accomplish with just a screwdriver. All right, let's see if I can even get this thing in here without messing everything up. The only true disadvantage of the way I have set this up is if I put too much pressure on the bed in the back, you can see it is going to tilt back this way. The frame itself, it's not 100% sturdy, but it's not going anywhere. I can lay down on it. I don't have to worry about the bed actually tilting backwards from this angle. The only thing I'm truly worried about right now is how are those 3 screws in each of those legs gonna hold up in the long run. Another useful tool for this job might have been a knife or a pair of scissors, but luckily this plastic isn't too strong and I'm able to just rip right through it. Cheap, I feel like I definitely came in under 200 bucks if you count all the extra stuff that I added towards the end. But the main items there, the legs, 30 bucks, the slab, 40 bucks, and the memory foam mattress, 97 bucks. All of that combined, I'm gonna say is about $180 after taxes and all of that. You can see right here that the mattress is, first of all, it's much wider. The previous bed I had was 24 or 25 inches. I've lost this much space right here, about 6 inches. I had plenty of leg room. I mean, it's nothing too bad. It's not imposing, anything like that. But I do currently have the frame set so that it has 3 inches on each side. The other thing is I don't feel like I would slip off or the thing is gonna flip over while I put some pressure on it. Another really good thing about having the larger mattress versus that smaller mattress is things are a little more locked in place. So when I'm driving around, it's not gonna slip left and right. Maybe make a little bit more noise on the road, things like that. That's something that if you are a little bit sensitive to noise, could be a factor that you want to consider. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments, would you rather have the wider bed that's a little more stable or the narrower bed that gives you just a little bit more room in your minivan camper? There are trade-offs there, but if you want to see me test this out, I'm going to go camping very soon and I'll have that video here. Join me over there and we'll see exactly how this bed performs in an overnight camping trip.